You're listening to Main Character Manifesto, where we talk mindset, self-identity, and stepping into your power. I am your host, Ceci, your go-to life coach for real talk and major glow-ups. This is your space to get inspired, get honest, and get moving toward the life you know you're meant to live. Are you ready? Let's get into it.
Who's that girl? That's me. I'm on fire. I'm a hot girl. I'm a hot girl. I get anything I want. This is my world. I make big moves in my big heels. Since the day that I was born, I've been a big deal.
Let's do this. Today, we're diving deeper into one of the biggest myths when it comes to losing weight. And it is letting go of the low-calorie fear. For years and years and years, I have watched myself and my friends and my family chase that low calorie is king in order to see results. I have chased the yo-yo diets. I have done the cabbage soup diet. I've talked about on the podcast about the only meat diet that I did before my cousin's wedding, and it was a disaster for my stomach, like the way that I could not go to the bathroom for days, and I was so bloated and backed up. TMI, I know, I'm sorry, but I'm telling you, it's just not healthy. I've done juice cleanses. I've done soup cleanses. I've done the banana diet where you eat bananas and steak. I mean, it's exhausting. Like, why? Why do we do this to ourselves? And the reason is because we constantly want a shortcut to the results. We don't want to put in the work. We don't want to look inward to see why we're doing the things that we're doing. We want a pill. We want the fast track to get us to our goals at the fastest time without actually putting in the work. I mean, that's not sustainable. It hasn't been sustainable, and it will never be sustainable until you actually look inward, put the work in, change the mindset, change the habits that made you that person to keep gaining the weight, and then you won't keep gaining the weight back because you have set up the mindset, the lifestyle, the habits to support all of the things that you want to keep in your life. I mean, if it was that easy where I could just tell you how to do it and then you would do it, then everybody would be thin. I would have been thin like years ago. Well, maybe not years ago because I didn't find out that this was the way to do it until last year. So I am sharing my journey. I am sharing everything that I've learned with all of you in real time as I'm figuring it all out. And I feel like literally going to the highest mountain in the world and yelling it from the mountaintop and telling everybody what I now know, because I wish that I knew all of this information years ago. I wish that I knew that my mindset was the key to all of the success in the world that I wanted. It's just so crazy. Even now, when I'm talking to my parents, I catch them saying certain things and then I catch myself. I've had my friends catch me saying like, no, you just said this. And it's like, even though I am deep in this mindset, manifestation, awareness, self-talk, regulating my nervous system, even though I live, I breathe it, I'm actively implementing it day and day in my life, I still get caught up in certain thoughts and beliefs that have not been completely changed before. And it is impossible to completely change your whole belief system overnight, even if my journey has been going on for years. I started my personal development journey after my divorce, which is over 10 years ago, but actively where I am implementing and learning and really being an active member in this community of change and purpose and making a difference in the world, it has been almost 2 years. So I'm very new to this. When you think about the years and years that other people have been in it, right? So I feel so thankful that I found this journey, but I wish that somebody would have taught it to me earlier. I wish that somebody would have shown me the handbook, because that's what I feel like it is. Do you remember the book, The Secret? That's literally the handbook, and I read it and I didn't get it. I remember when it came out and it was on Oprah, and I was like, oh my God, they're going to talk about the secret. The secret. What is this? It's mysterious. What is it? And then I watched the episode and I didn't get it. Like, I saw the movie and I didn't get it. I was like, all right, cool. I'm going to do everything that the book says to do. And then it didn't work, because it didn't really go deeper into the beliefs and changing everything. I feel like if I reread it now, I have reread it a few times since then. I've done it a couple of times and it has worked. It's really intense. But since then, I've read other books and I've followed other mentors and other people in the industry that talk about quantum physics and changing, reprogramming your mind, changing your beliefs, and doing all of the inner work that I didn't understand back then. And now I understand. So in order to keep those amazing results that you're going to be getting soon, you have to first prepare to receive them. Okay, so let's get into it. So for today, I really want to dive into the fear that we need to let go when it comes to actually eating more food. We're constantly told to restrict, and then you've seen your body go from restricting and being able to kind of maybe sometimes keep the weight down, and then as soon as you go on vacation and you overindulge, then it spikes up, sometimes 5-10 pounds, and then it's so hard to get back on that restrictive, unsustainable lifestyle. And then you're doing this like yo-yo cycle where you're constantly restricting for like 2 to 3 months or 4 months because you're going to go to this event, this wedding, this trip, whatever it is that you have on the books, right? You restrict until that happens. And then on the trip, you go wild. And then when you come back, you're literally hating your life and you're like, I just gained all the weight back. I feel horrible. I feel bloated. I feel like I'm retaining water. I'm sluggish. I'm fatigued. And it's because your body hasn't gotten any nourishment. You're probably not walking as much as you used to. You're not drinking enough water. You just came back from this crazy vacation, or maybe there was a wedding and you overindulged. And then afterwards, you just don't have the motivation to get back into it because you have nothing else on the books. And then now you want to relax because you were on starvation mode and you were just going kind of like white knuckling this toxic behavior of depriving yourself, probably not eating enough for your body, not eating nutritious food, and not doing everything that your body needs. So I'm even tired just talking about it because that cycle is not part of my life anymore. This year feels so good to the point where I have worked so hard on my mindset to let go of this toxic diet culture mentality that I used to have, where I was just restricting, not eating enough carbs, constantly on a low carb diet, constantly feeling like I couldn't eat and feeling like I couldn't really enjoy life. It was just super exhausting. So Over this past year, I hired coaches, I hired personal trainers, I've worked on my mindset, I've worked on my business, I have worked on the things that have held me back so that I can finally start seeing results because I'm tired. Aren't you guys tired? Aren't you tired of doing the same thing over and over and over again to only get results for a little bit and then lose the results and then get back on that hamster wheel? I don't know about you, but I was done. That was me last year. I was done. And then now I'm here. In last week's episode, I talked about my updated journey of starting last year at 44% body fat to now I am about 35% body fat, maybe a little bit lower actually, because I took that in-body scan a few weeks ago and I've actually leaned out a little bit more. And let me just tell you, I've leaned out and I have increased my calories. So it is just amazing. When you heal your metabolism, when you heal your mindset, when you reset your nervous system to the point where you feel safe around food and you feel safe making the decisions that you need to make and you feel like you actually have a plan that you understand and you don't feel like you're just walking around blind wondering like, oh my God, what's my body going to do? What's going to happen next? It's just so exhausting. Now, I want to clarify that our bodies are going to fluctuate in weight. That is normal. That is normal. I do weigh myself every single day because now I want to understand what my body's doing. I look at my body and my health and my fitness almost like an athlete or like a sports car. Let's talk about a sports car, right? If your body is a sports car, you're going to take it to get the wheels aligned. You're going to take it to get an oil change. You're going to get it washed. You're going to wash the interior. You're going to make sure that the engine is running right. You're going to use premium fuel when you put gas in it because that's what's going to make it run the best performance. And think about all of the other maintenance things that you're going to do. That's what your body is. When I think about weighing myself every single day, I think about all of the food that I'm putting into my body because I'm choosing really healthy things. I'm also choosing to indulge. I know now that if I want a cupcake, I'm going to eat that cupcake. And I know that my body's not going to bounce out of whack because I had that. I can have a day of indulging and having cheese and wine and dessert and all of that. It's okay. And my body may fluctuate because maybe it's retaining a little water, because maybe higher sodium or whatever it is. Maybe I didn't drink enough water so that my body's not flushing out whatever needs to be flushed out. I now understand that because I'm actively walking every single day, I have set up my non-negotiables. What are your non-negotiables that you need to set up in order to set up this type of lifestyle and you can have that same type of ease and comfort and peace? It's just the best feeling to know that, okay, I have a daily set of habits and intentions and daily rituals that I do that are non-negotiable for me, that come with me whether I'm on vacation or whether I'm home. Why? Because they make me feel good. And you don't have to do everything exactly as I do. That's why it's so important to sit down, think about your lifestyle, think about your needs, think about what makes you happy. If you like walking, then you're going to walk. If you like doing the bike, then you're going to do the bike. But at the end of the day, you need to have some movement. Your body needs to have constant movement in order to perform and to be at its best. Your body needs movement because our bodies need to move. We were not meant to be sedentary. If you think about cavemen back in the day, they were constantly moving. They were building their shelters. They were hunting food. They were getting away from the elements, and they would migrate, right? So our bodies are not meant to sit in front of the TV and not do anything. It's like you wake up in the morning, you go to work, you sit at your office for 10 hours, 8 hours, hopefully not 10 hours, maybe like 5 to 8, hopefully not 10, even though Lord knows we've all been in those corporate jobs where we were sometimes there for way more than 10 hours. Moving on. Our bodies were not meant to be sitting all day. So being mindful about how to get that movement in and starting to think about what is your ideal lifestyle? What kind of movement do you want? What kind of exercise do you want to incorporate? There has to be some sort of resistance training. I'm just going to tell you that from the beginning, because it's so important, especially as women, men and women, we lose bone density and we lose muscle mass. For women, I think it starts at the age of 23. I have to double check. But we really need to stay on top of our bone density and our muscle mass, because that is going to support all of our organs. It's going to support our core, our back, our hips, our knees. It's just part of the aging process. And I don't know about you, but I am in a journey of staying the healthiest and the youngest I possibly can for as long as possible. So if you want to join me, hop on the bandwagon, because I will be sharing all of my tips and tricks that I am currently using, and I'll share them with you. So a little plug, follow me on Instagram. If you're not following me yet, I will be sharing all of my anti-aging tips and tricks there. Anyways, that was moving away from today's topic. I just wanted to answer that real quick. If you're not following me, come over and follow me. We have a lot of fun over there, and let's keep moving on with the show. If you've ever felt like the only way to see progress is to eat as little as you can, then I've got news for you. There's a whole other world on the other side of that mindset, and today we're stepping into it. So let's bust one of the biggest myths that we've been told, and it's that eating less is going to get you the best results. And it's kind of like a myth, but then it's not. So let me clarify that. Yes, a calorie deficit is needed in order to lose weight, but that means that you have to first fix your metabolism and get your body out of that state where it's in starvation mode. If you have been on a diet like how I had been for years and years and years on a constant low calorie, I think I had been like between 12 and 1,600 calories. I have hired multiple coaches. I have bought so many coaching programs online. I have bought so many meal plans and macro calculators and all of these things that were just not working. And let me tell you what wasn't working. Actually, a lot of these calculations that I paid for before last year were really accurate to what I did to finally lose the weight. The difference was my mindset and how I approached the calorie deficit. One of the biggest things that really helped was that my coaches were really aware of the mindset that it takes, and they were great at supporting. But the biggest thing was that this time I was already a life coach. I had already gone through the training. I had already learned how to get the awareness that I needed in order to figure out and pinpoint what was actually holding me back and what were the blockages that I was having that were not keeping me from losing the weight. And let me just tell you, I started with them last year in July. It was like on the 22nd of July. No, sorry. It was on the 22nd of August last year when I started working with them. So it's been a year. And I did start to lose weight from that time until December. I mean, there was my birthday. I went to Miami on a work trip, and then it was Thanksgiving, and then it was Christmas. And I feel like every year I'm on a diet during the holidays, and it was just not very sustainable. But this year I was trying to push through. I did make some progress. I did great with my workouts. I got really strong. And I feel like what I was able to accomplish from August to December of last year was me setting up my habits and my routines when it came to the gym, understanding and learning that I did not have to lift 6 days a week to see progress, understanding that I did not have to do a ton of cardio in order to see progress. They brought me down from doing a ton of cardio to just getting 10 to 13,000 steps a day and then 2 light cardio sessions a week. And that was such a shift. It was such a great mindset shift for me because everything that I was doing before was excessive. It was drastic. It was not sustainable. It was basically the more you do and the less you eat, the better and the skinnier you will get. That's what used to be my mindset. And I used to think that if I ate very little and I lifted 6 days a week and I did a ton of cardio, that all of a sudden my muscles would be popping and I would get definition and I would finally see that physique that I wanted. But little did I know that I was doing everything wrong. So yes, it's a huge deal when you get the proper nutrition and the proper knowledge on how training works. That was super helpful. So I think from August to December, I was just basically setting up the foundations and changing my mindset on how I looked at fitness and how I looked at nutrition. Now, during that time, I still battled so much with self-sabotage, procrastination. I was working through a lot of blockages in my personal life, my business, and showing up authentically because I was just starting out to be visible on social media, and that's uncomfortable. I mean, talking in front of the camera, that was just wild. I remember when I went to this retreat in October, I met a ton of people that are in the same industry as I am, a lot of coaches, a lot of very talented people that have been in the industry for a long time. A lot of them have their own podcasts, they have coaching programs, they've been doing it for years and they're very successful. And here I am starting out my business and I felt so behind and I felt like I was just sitting with people that were very successful and I felt so behind. And all of that gave me fear, anxiety, and made me feel like I was not doing everything that I needed to be doing and not understanding that I needed to be kind to myself and that I needed to realize that I'm at the beginning of my journey. I've done so much in such a little time in order to be where I am today. And I needed to really realize and give myself credit for that. So all of that stress was showing up in my body because with all of the things that I knew that I wanted to do, but then I wasn't regulating my nervous system, I wasn't feeling the emotions and working through them and working through the fear. I wasn't doing all of the work. I was doing some of it, but I only had a certain capacity for it, right? When you're learning to regulate your nervous system, it may take time. Everybody's totally different. Some people go through certain blockages really fast, and other people, it takes them time. And for me, there was certain things that I kept crossing, and it was just a barrier, and I couldn't get through it. I couldn't get through it, and I couldn't get through it. So what finally broke for me was letting go following the program, following the plan, and just believing that what my coach was saying was correct. I had to stop second guessing myself and second guessing everybody else, because if other people have done it, so can I. So I needed to let go of that control and just keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, and letting go of that fear of having to reset my metabolism. So when I first started working with my coach, they brought my calories way up. I think I was eating like maybe 1,600 calories when I started with them, and they brought them up to like 2,000 or 1,900. And I was so scared. I was like, wait, what are you talking about? We're supposed to go into a fat loss phase. Why am I starting with really high calories if I want to lose more weight? And they said, you have to fix your metabolism. You have to give your body a break. You have to get it out of this fight or flight mode that it's been in for years and let it rest. Like, that blew my mind. My poor body. I feel like that's when the light bulb went off and I was like, wow. And I realized that I was tired. My mind was tired. My heart was tired. My body was tired. No wonder it was holding on to this weight and holding on to all of these emotions. It was because I wasn't allowing it to just be and function and do what it was supposed to do. So this is what we did. We reset my body. We brought up the calories. We let my body regulate, and then we brought it down to a calorie deficit. And then in my calorie deficit, I was eating healthy carbs. I was eating all of the things. I was not just eating just protein or, a keto or all of these things. I was eating a balanced diet. And then I just did the same thing over and over again. And I showed up to the gym and I did my 13,000 steps and I packed my food and I made a lot of mistakes and it was not perfect. So all of this to say that sometimes you just have to make a plan and then just stick with it for a long time before you see results. We are so quick to just give up. I think because especially in the fitness industry, there is this thing about like 30-day challenge, 60-day, 90-day transformation. Well, let me just tell you, I went from, I think it was like 167 and then it spiked to like 172 when I stopped taking birth control. And this morning I weighed in at 153. I mean, that's almost like 20 pounds, but it's been over a year. And what makes me more proud is that I've lost almost 15% body fat. Like, I feel my body getting stronger. So bringing it back to letting go of the fear of eating more. At the beginning, when I started working with the trainers, like I said, they bumped up my calories, we reset my metabolism, and then I went down on a calorie deficit, and I had kind of like this, roller coaster of my weight going up and down and up and down because I was just still working through the emotions and the process and regulating and not trusting. So my journey hasn't been linear, and it's okay, because it doesn't mean that it's going to be perfect. It just means that it has a trend. Like if you look at my weight loss graph, it's got a trend where it's like going down, even though if you look at it, it looks like this if you're zooming in, but the trend is that it's going down and that I'm going in the right direction. So if we let go of that, I want it done in 30 days, I want it done in 60 days or 90 days. And if you just learn to enjoy the process, Learn to enjoy the journey. Let's apply this into every area of your life. Think about all of the things that you need to do, and then think about, how can I enjoy this process a little bit longer? Like, let's say that you have little ones right now and they're not sleeping and you're tired, and it's like a hard part of being a mom. I'm not a mom, but I am a number one aunt, and I love all of my kiddos, even though they're not mine, but they are mine. I understand that there's different phases in mom's life, or it maybe you're going through a new job where you're learning new skills and you're growing and you're leveling up and you're expanding and you're really going through a lot of tension within yourself because it's really uncomfortable. Learn to enjoy the process. How can you romanticize this time of your life where you can enjoy the process a little bit more? And before you know it, you're actually going to get so used to it that you're going to be like, wow, I actually kind of miss not having that. I mean, how many moms talk about how they miss those like little moments that they had when their kids were little, and like time passed so fast, and like now they're all grown up. So let's learn to let go of control, romanticize our life as much as we can, little moments, and to just let go and enjoy the journey. I think that's when I really started to realize that, wow, I've absolutely made this into a lifestyle, because I wake up and listen, I don't wake up cheery every single morning. Actually, I would say I'm kind of not a morning person. Like, I might wake up a little grumpy because I love my bed. I absolutely love my bed. But as soon as I get out of my bed and then I have my workout clothes on and then I stretch and I do whatever I need to do, and then I'm feeling good. I am chatty in the morning for the most part, but I'm human, so I am not going to have an amazing morning every single morning, but I do look forward to my workouts. And even on the days that I really don't want to be there, I think about how good I'm going to feel when I'm done. And then I also think about the fact that going to the gym is a non-negotiable for me. To me, that's not something I skip. It's not something that I say no to anymore. Now, if my schedule changes and for whatever reason I can't go to the gym, I schedule it and I move it. And I have the flexibility in my schedule where I can move my workouts to 2 different days. I can move Pilates here and I can move this there, but I always get my workouts in. That's a non-negotiable. And you need to think about, what is the lifestyle that you want to create? How can we build this wellness plan for you? How can we make eating healthier, prepping your food, thinking about your next day? How can we make that attainable so that you can maintain it for a long period of time? Because it's about making this your journey into your lifestyle where you can sustain it. I feel so good because this whole year, every time I have an event, I'm like, okay, cool. What am I going to wear? I'm not worried about, oh my God, what is going to fit me? That's not going to fit me anymore. I have to feel skinny in order to wear those jeans. I have to feel snatched. And now I'm like, ooh, it's exciting because I have been setting myself up for success this whole year. My body feels amazing. I know what I'm doing. I always make sure that, okay, I'm going to have a big event. I always think about what I have going on. If I have a really busy day and I'm going to go out with my friends and do brunch and do this, I make sure that I try to incorporate my movement. And you know what? Sometimes it doesn't happen. And sometimes I say, you know what? Today's my rest day, and it's okay that I didn't meet my steps because it's my rest day. And even though on most rest days, I still get my 13,000 steps in, sometimes you're not going to be able to, and that's okay. Letting go of that and understanding that you're not going to be totally perfect every single time, but that you're going to be consistent more times than not. That's where real change is. That's where progress happens. That is when growth happens. And that is when it becomes a habit where you can consistently maintain. And then it's a lifestyle. And let me just tell you, it's such a beautiful thing to be at that stage. I'm not saying that it's easy and that it's effortless and that I don't have to try. Don't get it twisted. I still show up to the gym sometimes and I'm like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to do hip thrust. I do not want to do lower body today. And you know what I do? I tell myself, you know what? You don't have to do hip thrust today. Switch it with another workout, but give it your all. So the self-talk that I have nowadays is so much different than the self-talk that I used to have years before. Years before, I used to be like, don't be lazy. You're not going to be skinny. Look how fat you are. And now I tell myself, you are safe. You are okay. You got this. You don't give up. You're not a quitter. Let's go. You can do this. The amount of times that I'm telling myself, you are safe and you can do this. You got this. Keep going. Keep going. It's wild, but I swear it works. And one of the things that I love to do, like if I'm feeling like really stressed out and I'm feeling like anxious, or if I'm about to do something that scares me a lot, I usually just take a deep breath. Okay, let's do this together, okay? Think about something that scares you. Maybe it's something that you're doing in public. Maybe it's speaking up in a meeting at work. Maybe it's talking to a friend or a relative or someone about something that makes you really uncomfortable and that gives you that anxiety. Okay, so think about something that makes you uncomfortable, right? So close your eyes, think about that. And now we are going to reset, right? We are going to tell our nervous system that we are okay. And this is what I do. We're going to take a deep breath. Okay, take a deep breath. And then you're going to close your eyes. And then you're just going to keep telling yourself. So I like to hit myself. Well, it sounds horrible, but I like to pat myself on the chest. And I just say, you're okay. You're okay. Everything's fine. You're okay. You are safe. Everything's fine. You are okay. So I say different things depending on what is going on. If it's something new that I'm doing and I'm afraid to do it, then I do that and I say, you are safe, you are okay, you can do this. Just keep one step at a time. You got this. Keep going. You are safe. So this is similar to another type of therapy that is called the tapping method. And I will talk about that in another episode because I feel like we've already gone a little far. But it is basically tapping in all of like the meridian points that we have. And what that does, it's almost like it sends this electric energy throughout your body to let your body know that you are safe and that you are okay. And it just totally calms your body and it makes you feel so much better. But I really want you to try this next time that you're feeling a little anxious or that you're having these feelings come up in your life, or maybe you're feeling angry, or maybe you just had an argument with somebody, or you feel like you saw something and it just really upset you. Try this little exercise that we just did where you can tap wherever you want. You can either, some people do this where you're tapping your shoulders. I like to tap my chest kind of like in between. And that is super helpful for me. So I'm curious to see if this helps you. I know that it will. So that is your homework. Look for something in your life that has been stressing you out or kind of throwing your energy off, and use this little exercise and then write down how you feel afterwards. I am curious. And if you're feeling a little extra, then tag me on social media and let me know that you did it, or even just slide into my DMs and you can start the conversation. I would love to hear how this little exercise worked for you. Another little homework I want to leave you with is I want you to audit your thoughts on how you have been approaching weight loss and your fitness. Think about all of the ideas and the beliefs that you have on calorie restriction, on what you have always believed that got you results. And now that you understand that you have to regulate your metabolism, that you have to regulate your nervous system, that you have to get your body ready to shed the weight, you have to also shed the mental baggage that we have. So I want you to take a moment and write down all of the old beliefs that you had about losing weight. And then I want you to reframe them into new beliefs that you're going to implement in your life. All right. So I'm really excited about this. And we are just going to keep moving forward. And like always, thank you so much for listening. Please remember to like, subscribe, and if you have a few extra seconds or minutes, however much time you have, leave a review, a comment, or even just a suggestion. I would love to hear from you. And if you found this episode helpful and you know of someone that may enjoy it, please share it with them. I would love for more people to find the podcast and find some help and resources that I wish I had when I was going through my journey. And until next time, keep showing up for yourself. Thank you for coming. Bye.